interquartile range, IQR, and this is our next title. It's a difference of upper quartile and lower quartile. Again, statistics is a type of data science. So you are talking about IQR as upper quartile minus lower quartile. It is representing the central, it is representing the central 50% of the population. Now, why that central population is important? Because in any system, for example, in a class, there are few people who are getting very high marks. There are few people who are getting very low marks. But normally there is a range of people who are big number of people who are in between. We call them central 50% population. This happens in every population, like in terms of income, in terms of growth, in terms of thinking capacity, in terms of reading the books, in terms of wealth, etc. In every population, in every standard population in the world, the population is actually concentrated in the central 50. Very low or very high are normally less. This central 50% is called IQR. So what is IQR? IQR is actually the central 50% of a population. So you have to copy this now.
All right, sir. Yes, sir. That.
Good.
Yes, sir. I copied it.
Cumulative frequency curve. This is a cumulative frequency curve, and we had drawn it before also. This is actually a repeat. We discussed this graph, and this is cumulative frequency curve. Once you have drawn it, if you find the center on y-axis, this graph is going up to 60. Half of 60 is 30, which is the center. If you read it, it is called median. Then you read the lower half, it is the 1/4 lower quartile.
Yeah.
And then it is the 3/4, which is the upper quartile. If once you find upper and lower quartile, the difference is called, the difference is called interquartile.
Interquartile range.
So this is how we calculate the interquartile range. This is lower quartile, then we find the upper quartile. After we find upper and lower quartile, we simply subtract them. This subtraction is called interquartile range. So IQR is like that. Now you have to give a heading, new heading in the same chapter, new heading, percentile.
Yeah, for that.
Percentile is simply like a percentage. It can be any number. Acha, if you recall, even median is a percentile, 50th percentile. Uh, Upper quartile is a percentile of 75, lower quartile is 25%. But other than that, you can ask to get 60%, 30%. This is called percentile. For example, you have to determine 70th percentile from the graph. So the total is 40. You will find the 70% of 40, and then you find the number on x-axis. This is the percentile. So write under it that it is the value of any percentage
Yes, sir. It is the value of any percentage
any percentage any percentage from cumulative frequency.
from cumulative frequency.
So this is percentile. Now you have to give a heading, box and whisker diagram.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Done.
Box and whisker diagram. Now we make the first concept. Box and whisker diagram is actually an extension of cumulative frequency curve. Remember, data science is simply dealing with the behavior of data. For example, you must have heard people say O-level results are better than A-level results, and people say in A-level it's harder to get A. How people know that? From the data. Similarly, people tell you that in winter, the temperature is very low, it's very cold. In some countries, it's not that much cold. In some countries, this is all data sciences. In the present world, we say now data sciences is actually a ruling science now. It was not a science actually, but now people accept it's a science, because as much as the data you have, you actually are able to decide better. Many people think that Google and Yahoo and these online drives, they're giving so much facilities for free. So what they are getting actually, the answer is very interesting. They get data. For example, Google Map is a very, very helpful service. Now, anyone can think that how they're giving so much facilities privately without any cost. You must have heard about a latest effort by the free Wi-Fi or very cheap Wi-Fi from satellite from from the companies. Now, why they are giving so much free, what they are getting in return? The answer is one word: data. Data actually is the source of our behavior. For example, in the world, how they know that what type of food will get support, will get welcome in a particular country, because Google is there. It's collecting data for the last time, for many times. It's a very funny thing, but it's very interesting thing to understand that why these diagrams, and even though they look very dry, why so many methods are there, and why so many students after doing A level are willing to go to data sciences. Why? Because actually it can get you the behavior, it can get you the people information. For example, in Pakistan last year, Google had a report that a huge number of Pakistani people made a research on related to food. They made a research on samosa. Now, that looks very
Okay.
funny, but actually
Yeah.
it tells the people who are going to invest in country like Pakistan that samosa is in demand here. So this is the data sciences. Now, first you understand the importance of data. Then the second concept comes, which actually that is why this chapter is so big, and we are doing it for the last 3 to 4 classes. Otherwise, we do not take that much time. This topic is very important and very challenging, not difficult. Challenging in sense because it's big. First thing is there that you collect data. Then Google and other services are there. They are keep on officially, unofficially. You must have heard about Facebook, the famous case
Yeah.
Facebook, that they were claimed to collect data, and later it was a big inquiry. So first thing is to collect the data. Second is to represent it. Now, when you draw a cumulative frequency curve like this way, this is a data presentation. Our whole Cambridge, our whole Cambridge system of marking is working on that. Otherwise, how you can manually check that the threshold will be low or high, because manually it's not possible in the world. So they draw these curves and they determine that this year paper one should be on this much threshold. Threshold is moving. Sometimes threshold is high, sometimes threshold is low. So this is only possible because of cumulative frequency curve. Even one paper one, for example, occurred and a student could not come in paper two, or in the whole country paper two could not occur like in Corona, you can still mark the people because of this cumulative frequency curve. After collecting the data, the second step is to present it, presentation. That's cumulative frequency curve, histogram, polygon, and box and whisker, etc. The third thing, which is now becoming one of the biggest career for many people, is the decision, is the trend setting decision. After looking at the curves, after looking at the presentation, you need to make some decisions. For example, from
Mm.
the curve, you can decide which subject is getting more fame, more popularity, which area needs more investment, because these investments are decades in advance. So this is the reason that these three features are critical. Now, box and whisker is actually an extension of cumulative frequency curve. When you draw a cumulative frequency curve, you can get information, the lowest value, the lower quartile, median, upper quartile, and the highest value. Instead of drawing a big cumulative frequency curve, which takes a lot of time, we draw a simplified diagram like this. It's a box and there are two whiskers around it. One left side whisker is showing the lowest value and the right hand side whisker is showing the highest value. This feature is called box and whisker diagram. Now, for example, look at this cumulative frequency curve. We extend it down, and you have to see closely, extend it down, and you make a box under it, which is corresponding to the median, to the upper quartile, and to the lower quartile. I have to show this again. This is how we extend it. Look at the diagram. We extend it downward.
Mm.
Once we extend it, we make a box on it, and this box shows box and whisker diagram. So cumulative frequency curve is a bigger diagram, and box and whisker is a lower version of that. Look at this. This is my cumulative frequency curve. I extend it downward. The important positions, lowest value,
Yeah.
lower quartile, median, upper quartile, maximum. You connect it down. This is called box and whisker diagram. So after giving the heading, you have to copy this.
All right. Yes, sir, done.
Okay. Now you have to copy this.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Now copy this diagram.
Yes, sir.
A rough diagram is fine.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Now you look at this screen. I am extending it down. So you put the dotted lines as I have shown.
Yes, sir. I see it. Okay.
Now make this diagram under it with links.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Done.
Now, this is called box and whisker diagram. It shows the spread of the data. It is not necessary that you first draw a cumulative frequency curve. If examiner has asked you, then it's fine. Otherwise, you can draw box and plot directly also, because the main thing is the data. So you have to copy this concept.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Done.
Now, this is called a box and whisker diagram. If you draw it on solo without the cumulative frequency curve, you need to draw a long x-axis, only x-axis, and then you show the values there. This is an example on the screen where you are drawing it without any cumulative frequency curve.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Now look at this. This is how we find it. We
Yeah,
can the quartile range. So now you have to remember that data which is count is even or odd. Even data has two middles. Arrange data in ascending order is again a compulsory requirement here because otherwise you cannot determine median. You cannot determine quartiles. So you have to copy this.
all right, sir. Yes, sir, I copied it.
Now, you have to copy this example.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir, done.
Right.
Okay. Do I solve it now, sir?
Yes. First you have to arrange it in ascending order.
All right. I think that's already done, sir.
Good. So now find the upper and lower quartile. Mark this.
Okay. Yeah.
You need to determine lower quartile, median, and upper quartile.
Yeah, so sir, like you already displayed the upper quartile and lower, and then all of that. Now we have to just mark it now, because the lowest number is 4, and the max is 12. So we'll, make the line there,
Make a line,
and
make a
then
straight line.
inside, yeah, yeah, but we have to leave some space between, for the box. So, and then we have the
If you make a line
that
under
called,
it,
yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I made the I made the box first, and then I made the line. Then after that, yeah, the box would be around at that range, because upper quartile is 9, and then lower quartile is 5, 5 point, 5.5. And then the median, we'll draw a line in between the box, which is 8. And yes, and then we connect the lines, yeah, yes, yes, sir. Yeah, I copied it, sir. I made one.
now copy this question.
Do I solve this now?
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, sir. Uh, yes, sir, it's already in order.
Good.
And then, yeah, we just have to mark it now. So, yes, Q1 is 4, and then 8, and then 10.
Make the box. First, make the box.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, just a second. Yes, sir, I made the box. It starts at 4, and then it would end at 10. Yeah. And then there would be a line in between at 8. And then we would just extend the lines in the remaining part. Yeah. Yes, sir, I made it. Isn't the same. Yes, sir. Yeah, I made it, sir. It's the same.
Box and plot. Box plots can be drawn vertically also.
Okay. Yes, sir, I wrote it.
So they can be vertical, like this is a vertical box plot. Box plots are also used to compare two or more sets of data.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Two or more sets of data.
This is like two box and plot which are back to back, and we can compare them. Box plots can be used to compare the set of data. Now, for example, there are two sets of one for boys and for one for girls, and we can compare them. We can compare them using the data sheet, and we can say that these are the these are the data sheets, and these are the two groups of students, and we can tell them which has a lower median, which has a upper median. Box plots can be used for comparison. For comparison purpose, it is necessary that you plot them back to back on a same scale so that comparison can be fair. So when you plot them back to back on a common scale, then you can compare them. So let me share this. You're not supposed to copy it later in your notes, but you need to give a reference number for, because this will be in your notes.
Okay.
Check the reference number we have now.
Okay, one second, sir. Just check. Sir, we stopped at reference 12.
Reference 12.
Yeah.
Hmm. So right there, then reference.
Yeah, so reference 13. Yeah.
So right there, reference 13. Now there are two ways to manage that. Either you keep it in the same reference, because there is no need to copy this, because this will be a long job, unnecessary time to copy such a big diagram. So that won't be needed. But there is another way. You can also print it and paste it in your notes if you want to keep your notes up to date. You can also do this trick that you can print it if you have a printer Igcse at home, and you
Yeah.
can print it and then cut it and paste it as we used to do in our very earlier age. That it will be a good idea. Otherwise, keep the reference number. So whenever you revise it, you can see it this way. Another technique which some of my students have advised me, that students can do one thing, they can transfer all the reference number diagrams into an album. People know, and you also know, I hope, that how you make albums in your mobile. And if you keep transfer all the reference number diagrams in album, you can, whenever you need it, you can see them. So that will be an easy way to revise the notes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Mhm.
give the heading scatter diagram.
Yeah, sir, I give it.
So we will do this topic inshallah next time. Actually, that's good. We compensate some loss, but as I mentioned, this is not a problem.